Hello, my name is Cindy Bernal. I would like to present to you my interpersonal communication project for my HSER 508 class at Liberty University on October 7th, 2011. Next slide. What is interpersonal communication? Interpersonal communication is the kind or type of communication that happens when the people involved talk and listen in ways that maximize the presence of the personal. Next slide. Enlarging the conversation. To enlarge our conversation, we must understand what our communication skills are and use those skills to enhance your conversation. Know what your weaknesses and strengths are and learn what you can do to improve them. By understanding our strengths and weaknesses, we will be able to communicate better with others. Next slide. Overarching goal. Tuning into others and ourselves. According to Burley Allen, effective listening involves not only tuning into others, but tuning into ourselves. I would like to become a better listener and try to understand what is being said. By tuning into what someone is saying, I will help to boost their self-esteem. This will help the person realize that they are important, and in turn, they will listen more cooperatively to me. Next slide. Overarching goal continued. Listening to and understanding the person can help build teamwork, trust, and a sense of belonging to a group. I can also learn more about myself and become more self-aware if I listen to what I am saying to others. This will teach me more about myself and not to judge people. Next slide. My behavioral blend. My personality type is a CS combination. This means that I'm passive, loyal, I'm protective of the truth, I like to avoid the limelight, and I'm humble, quiet, and compliant. Next slide. How my personality blend influences my conversation. It influences my conversation positively because I am not faced by difficulties. I care about others and I am organized. My personality blend influences my conversation negatively because I am not always a very strong leader. I tend to get stuck in a comfortable rut because I don't like change. Next slide. Potential barriers. My potential barriers are tuning out what the other person is saying and interrupting. Next slide. How to deal with potential barriers. Listen with understanding, non-judgmentally and non-critically. Have eye contact. Face the person with an open, relaxed posture. Acknowledge the talker by nodding head, leaning forward, and making facial expressions that match the talker's feelings. Next slide. Noise pollution. My internal noise pollution is self-awareness. My external is work pressures, taking on more than one can handle, doing 2 or 3 things at one time, interruptions, and phone calls. Next slide. My plan of action. Listening to myself, becoming conscious of how I talk, becoming aware of my negative tone to help stop my non-productive behaviors, become aware of my beliefs, values, and attitudes for a better understanding, become aware of my internal thought process. Next slide. My plan of action continued. Listening to what I am thinking, become more aware of the things that impair my ability to listen, practice empathetic listening skills, and refrain from judging others. Next slide. Conclusion. If I want to be a good boss at my place of employment, I must first be a good listener, be able to facilitate conflict resolution, be a good interviewer, deal effectively with problem employees and parents, speak effectively in front of others, and communicate well in writing. All of us need improvement in this area, and I know that I definitely do. I would like to be the best supervisor that I can, and I know if I improve my listening skills, everything else around me will improve. Next slide. Conclusion continued. In order to be more successful while communicating with others, I will use the communication skills that I learned in this class. As Christians, I feel that we need to try and respect others by listening to them. This shows the other person that we care about what they are saying. I also feel that we should not judge others. We should let them talk and try to understand what they are saying. God tells us in Proverbs 18:13, "He who answers before listening, that is his folly and shame." Thank you for listening to my presentation. Please see the next page for my references. Next slide.